I died at noon. I died at noon on a Tuesday, according to my husband. That's what he told the neighbors anyway. By 12:15, my name was already a headline inside the glass walls of St. Mary's Medical Center, whispered through nurses' stations and typed into a chart that said deceased, cardiac arrest. By 12:30, my husband, Daniel Wright, was holding another woman's hand in the hospital chapel, both of them dressed in black, crying tears that looked convincing enough to fool God himself. And by 1 o'clock, I was very much alive. I know this because I could hear everything. The beeping of machines, the squeak of rubber soles on polished hospital floors, the low murmur of voices just outside my room. I couldn't move, couldn't open my eyes. But my mind was screaming, I'm here. I'm still here. But no one listens to a dead woman. Before I died, if you'd asked me a week earlier, I would have said my life was ordinary in the most American way possible. Suburban Chicago. 2-story colonial house with white siding and a porch swing we never used. A golden retriever named Max. A marriage that looks solid from the outside, church on Sundays, backyard barbecues in summer, Thanksgiving dinners with Daniel's family where I smiled too much and drank too little. I was Claire Wright, 42, HR manager at a mid-sized insurance firm, known for bringing homemade brownies to work and remembering everyone's birthday, and married for 15 years to a man who had already replaced me in his heart. I just didn't know it yet. Or maybe I did but didn't want to believe it. Daniel had been distant for months. Late nights at work. His phone always face down. A smell on his shirts that wasn't mine, floral, expensive, wrong. When I asked, he said I was imagining things. You're stressed, Claire, he'd say, smiling like I was a child who'd lost her balloon. You need rest. Funny thing is, he was right about that part. The chest pain started 2 weeks before everything fell apart. Sharp, sudden squeezes that took my breath away. I blamed stress. Women always do. We're taught to push through, to keep the house running, to not be dramatic. The night before I collapsed, Daniel barely looked at me. He was texting while I talked about my day, nodding at all the wrong places. Who's that? I asked. Work, he said. He didn't even lie well anymore. The collapse. It happened at the office. One moment I was explaining healthcare benefits to a new hire. The next the room tilted sideways. My chest felt like it was being crushed by a steel plate. I remember grabbing the edge of my desk, knocking over a mug, coffee splashing like dark blood across paperwork. Someone screamed my name. Then nothing. Or so they thought. The place between. Death isn't a tunnel of light. It's a waiting room. Cold. White. Endless. I floated somewhere just above myself, watching doctors rush around my body. Defibrillator pads slapped onto my chest. Someone shouting numbers. Someone else saying, we're losing her. And then a voice I recognized. Daniel. I'm her husband, he said, breathless. Is she? We're doing everything we can. I wanted to scream at him. To tell him I was still here. To ask why, even now, his face looked more anxious than heartbroken. And then something shifted. Darkness folded in on itself. When I came back, because I did come back, it wasn't dramatic. No gasp. No movie-style miracle. Just awareness. I couldn't move. Couldn't speak. My body felt buried under concrete. But I could hear. That's when I heard the doctor say the words that changed everything. Time of death. 12:02 p.m. Celebration in black. They moved me to a private room. The deceased, they called me. I drifted in and out, trapped inside myself as voices came and went. Nurses discussing paperwork. A chaplain offering prayers. Someone pulling a curtain. Then Daniel returned. He wasn't alone. Her heels clicked first. Sharp. Confident. The sound of a woman who knew exactly where she belonged. I can't believe this, she said softly. It doesn't feel real. Daniel exhaled like a man relieved of a burden. It's over, he said. We don't have to hide anymore. That's when I realized. I wasn't imagining the distance. The lies. The late nights. He brought his mistress to see my body. They stood beside my bed. The bed where my heart was still beating faintly, stubbornly, and held each other like mourners in a staged photograph. She wore a black dress that hugged her like it was made for celebration, not grief. Long dark hair. Perfect makeup. The kind of woman who never forgot to check a mirror. "What about the will?" she asked. Daniel chuckled. "Already handled. Claire left everything to me. The house. Savings. Insurance." I did what? I wanted to scream. "I'll make sure you're taken care of," he said. "Just like we planned." She kissed him. Right there. At my bedside. My fingers twitched. No one noticed. The doctor who didn't believe in death certificates. Hours passed. Or minutes. Time meant nothing. Then a new voice entered the room. Older. Calm. Curious. Why hasn't she been moved to the morgue yet? A pause. Her vitals were unstable earlier, a nurse said. Dr. Patel wanted to run additional tests. Dr. Patel. He leaned close. I felt the warmth of his hand on my wrist. And then, interesting, he murmured. The machine beside me beeped. Soft. Irregular. But real. Get me a neurologist, he snapped. Now. Daniel laughed nervously. Doctor, she's gone. They already. Dr. Patel turned eyes sharp. No, he said. She isn't. Silence crashed over the room. She's alive. I wish I could say that's when everything got better. But that was only the beginning. Because when a woman comes back from the dead, she doesn't return the same. And when she opens her eyes, the first thing she remembers is who celebrated her funeral before it happened. The woman who opened her eyes. The first thing I felt was rage. Not fear. Not confusion. Rage. It burned hotter than the pain in my chest. Hotter than the 4 in my arm. Hotter than the shock that jolted through my body when my fingers finally obeyed me. My hand twitched. Just barely. But enough. Dr. Patel saw it first. Claire, he said gently, leaning closer. If you can hear me, squeeze my hand. I wanted to scream yes, but all I could do was curl my fingers weakly around his. The room exploded into motion. Oh my God, the nurse gasped. She's responding. Daniel stumbled backward like someone had pushed him. That's not possible, he said, laughing, a thin crack sound. You said. I said she was declared. Dr. Patel cut in. I also said she's alive. The mistress, her froze in place. Her black dress suddenly looked ridiculous, like a costume worn too early. She was dead, the woman whispered. I saw the chart. Dr. Patel turned slowly. And you are. The woman opened her mouth, then closed it. Daniel jumped in. A friend. She's just supporting me. Supporting him. While he buried me. Awakening. My eyelids fluttered. Took everything I had, but I forced them open. Light stabbed my eyes. Faces hovered above me, distorted and unreal. But I knew exactly who I was looking for. Daniel. His face had gone white. Not grief white. Guilt white. Claire, he croaked. Honey, don't call me that. My throat was dry, my mouth useless, but my eyes locked onto his with a focus that made him flinch. Get her out, I rasped. The room fell silent. The mistress took a step back. She doesn't know what she's saying. She just woke up. I know exactly what I'm saying, I whispered. Dr. Patel nodded to security. Ma'am, you'll need to leave, the guard said, already positioning himself between her and my bed. But I. Now. She looked at Daniel, waiting for him to defend her. He didn't. She left without another word, heels clicking faster this time. Running. The truth comes out. Once they were gone, Dr. Patel closed the door. You experienced a rare condition called locked-in syndrome following cardiac arrest, he explained. Your brain was active, but your body couldn't respond. It's often misdiagnosed. Misdiagnosed. I almost laughed. Daniel sat down heavily, rubbing his face. I thought I lost you, he said. I stared at him. You celebrated, I said hoarsely. His head snapped up. What? I heard you, I whispered. Everything. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. That's not possible, he said weakly. You were unconscious. I heard, I repeated. About the will. About her. About how relieved you were. Dr. Patel's jaw tightened. Mr. Wright, he said coldly, I suggest you leave. But, now. Daniel stood shaking. Claire will talk later. You need rest. I watched him walk out. I didn't cry. Not yet. The nurse who believed me. Her name was Linda. Mid-50s. No nonsense. Kind eyes that had seen too much. She adjusted my fore and leaned close. You're safe now, she said softly. And you're not crazy. I swallowed. They thought I was dead. They were wrong. I heard them, I said. Planning. Celebrating. Linda's lips pressed together. That happens more than people think, she said quietly. People show who they really are when they believe you can't hear. Tears finally came. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just steady. Damage assessment. By the next morning, the story had spread. Woman declared dead wakes up. Medical miracle at St. Mary's. Doctor catches mistake just in time. But no one talked about the husband who brought his mistress to mourn the living. Not yet. Daniel tried to come back that evening. I refused to see him. Instead, I asked for my lawyer. The lawyer. Mark Reynolds had been my college friend before he became my attorney. Calm. Sharp. Loyal. When I told him everything, his face darkened. He brought his mistress to the hospital, Mark said slowly. And discussed your will? Yes. And you're certain? I heard every word. Mark leaned back. Then Daniel Wright has a very big problem. The first crack in his perfect plan. Mark pulled the documents. My will. Daniel had pressured me to update it 6 months earlier, claiming it was just responsible planning. Everything to him. The life insurance policy, also him. And now, because I was legally alive but medically declared dead for several hours, things got complicated. Very complicated. There may be grounds for attempted fraud, Mark said. Possibly more. I closed my eyes. He thought my death was his freedom. He was wrong. A new promise. That night, alone in my hospital room, I stared at the ceiling. I thought about the woman in black. The kiss. The relief on Daniel's face. They didn't just betray me. They erased me. And I decided something then. If I survived death, I wouldn't waste the second chance begging for honesty. I would take back everything they tried to steal. Starting with the truth. The woman in black and the man under scrutiny. By the time I left the hospital, my husband was already under investigation. Not officially, not yet, but questions were being asked. Quiet ones. The kind that leave fingerprints even when no one admits to touching anything. And the woman in black? She didn't disappear. She panicked, leaving the hospital. 3 days after I died, I walked out of St. Mary's on my own 2 feet. The press was there, local news vans, curious bloggers, a woman with a microphone who asked if I felt grateful to be alive. I smiled for the cameras. I feel awake, I said. Daniel stood off to the side, trying to look like the devoted husband who had suffered a miracle. He didn't touch me. Didn't dare. His hand hovered near my elbow, then dropped. The cameras caught that too. Home isn't home anymore. The house smelled different. Not dirty. Not wrong. Just unfamiliar. Like a hotel room someone else had lived in before you. Did you change perfume? I asked casually, setting my bag down. Daniel froze. No. I nodded. Must be my imagination. His jaw tightened. We slept in separate rooms that night. I locked my door. The first call. The next morning my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. You ruined everything, a woman hissed. I recognized the voice instantly. I'm still alive, I said. That tends to ruin plans. Silence. Then, Daniel said you were dead. I finished. So did he wear black to celebrate with you? Her breath hitched. He said he loved me, she whispered. He said you were sick. Cold. Already gone. I smiled. He said the same about you, I lied. She hung up. The investigation begins. Mark filed paperwork within 48 hours. Hospital records. Witness statements. Security footage. Yes, footage. The camera outside my room had recorded Daniel and the mistress entering together, holding hands, kissing. The chaplain remembered them laughing. The doctor who declared me dead? Placed on administrative leave. But Daniel? He was the real interest. Because while I was dead, he'd made a call to his insurance agent. Dinner with a stranger. That evening Daniel tried to act normal. I made your favorite, he said, setting lasagna on the table. I sat across from him and studied the man I'd married. 15 years. And I had never truly seen him. Did you love her? I asked. He choked on his water. Claire. Just answer. He sighed. I was lonely. I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound. I died for a few hours, I said. And you felt free. He looked down. I thought it was over, he whispered. So did I said. The mistress breaks. 2 days later she showed up at my office. Uninvited. Her makeup was smeared. Her black dress replaced with jeans and a sweater. I didn't know, she said immediately. I swear. He said you were cold, distant, that you didn't love him anymore. I leaned back in my chair. And that made it okay? She flinched. I didn't know you were listening, she said. Neither did I once. Did you know he called the insurance company? I asked. Her eyes widened. No. I nodded. You were always a side plan. She started crying. I didn't comfort her. Paper trail. Mark uncovered emails, texts, hotel receipts. But the real bomb? A draft email Daniel never sent. Subject after Claire. It detailed selling the house, moving to Arizona, starting fresh. With her. Dated 2 days before my collapse. The warning. That night, Daniel stood in the doorway of my room. You're destroying my life, he said. I looked up from my book. No, I said calmly. You tried to bury mine. He stepped closer. You don't know what you're doing. I met his eyes. I came back from death, I said. You don't scare me. He left without another word. The shift. Something changed after that. Daniel stopped pretending. The mistress stopped calling. And I started sleeping with the lights off. Because when people think you're already dead once, they start wondering how hard it would be to make it permanent. The will, the lies, and the knock at the door. The knock came at 6:14 a.m. Not a neighborly knock. Not a delivery knock. A law enforcement knock. Sharp. Controlled. Final. I was already awake. The sound of consequences. Daniel answered the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, the picture of suburban innocence. I stayed at the top of the stairs wrapped in a robe listening. Daniel right? A male voice asked. Yes. We need to ask you a few questions regarding your wife's medical emergency. I smiled to myself. Emergency. That was one word for it. Statements in silence. They sat him at the dining table. 2 detectives. 1 man, 1 woman. Calm. Methodical. I made coffee. Because this was my house. How did you learn your wife had passed? The woman asked. The hospital called me, Daniel said. They said she was gone. Did you believe them? Yes. Immediately. Yes. I set down mugs. The male detective glanced at me. Mrs. Wright, thank you. Of course, I said. The woman detective flipped pages. Did you notify anyone else? My sister, Daniel said. And a friend. What friend? Daniel hesitated. I tilted my head. The one who wore black? I asked softly. The room went still. The will. Did you discuss your wife's estate while she was believed deceased? The detective asked. Daniel swallowed. No. I slid a folder across the table. Mark had prepared it. Actually, I said, you did. Emails. Phone records. The draft after Claire. Daniel's hand shook as he flipped pages. This doesn't prove anything, he snapped. People plan. Not usually while their spouse's body is still warm, the detective said flatly. Insurance curiosity. The male detective leaned forward. You called your insurance agent less than an hour after your wife was declared dead. Daniel's voice cracked. I was in shock. You asked about payout timelines. I was confused. You asked if remarriage would affect the policy. Silence. I sat down. That one hurt. The mistress testifies. By noon she was at the station. By evening she had told them everything. The celebration. The kiss. The relief. She even turned over texts. It's finally over. We can be together now. Sent while I was still breathing. The charge. They didn't arrest him. Not yet. But they labeled him a person of interest. In an American suburb, that label spreads faster than wildfire. Neighbors stopped waving. Friends stopped calling. And Daniel started sleeping on the couch. The confrontation. That night he snapped. You planned this, he shouted. You're enjoying it. I looked at him, really looked. I was unconscious, I said. You planned me. He slammed his fist into the wall. You were supposed to stay dead. The words hung in the air. Even he knew he'd crossed a line. Protection. Called Mark. By morning I had a restraining order. Daniel was removed from the house. Watching him pack was like watching a stranger fold my life into boxes. The letter. He left me a note. I loved you once. I tore it in half. The will rewritten. That afternoon I signed new documents. Everything changed. My assets. My future. If I ever died again, Daniel would get nothing. A final thought before sleep. I lay in my bed alone but safe. I thought about the version of me who trusted too much. She didn't survive. But the woman who came back. She was done being buried alive. The trial, the truth, and the life after death. They say surviving death changes you. They're wrong. What changes you is realizing how easily the people you love can let you go. The case America watched. The story went national within weeks. Woman declared dead wakes up. Husband celebrated with mistress. Cable news panels debated morality. Podcasts dissected my marriage. Comment sections split into teams like it was a sport. Team Poor Claire. Team he thought she was dead. America loves a story where guilt can be argued. I hated all of it. But the truth doesn't care whether it's convenient. The charges. The district attorney didn't charge Daniel with murder. They charged him with attempted insurance fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, and obstruction. They didn't need to prove he killed me, only that he tried to profit from my death. And that part was easy. The trial. I testified on the third day. I wore navy blue. Not black. Never black again. The courtroom was silent as I spoke. I was conscious, I said. I heard everything. Daniel wouldn't look at me. The prosecutor asked, "What did you hear?" I told them. About the kiss. About the relief. About the future they planned while my heart was still beating. Jurors cried. One woman shook her head the entire time. The mistress on the stand. She took a plea deal. Her voice trembled as she spoke. He said his wife was already gone, she said. He said it was finally over. The prosecutor asked, "Did he seem sad?" She swallowed. No. The verdict. After 6 hours of deliberation, the jury returned. Guilty. Not on everything, but enough. Daniel was sentenced to 7 years. Not life, but long enough to understand what it feels like when someone else controls your future. Aftermath. I sold the house. Adopted a smaller dog because Max went with me. Moved closer to the lake. I changed careers. I stopped apologizing. People asked if I forgave him. I didn't, but I let him go. The letter from prison came a year later. I think about you every day. I burned it without opening it. What surviving taught me. Here's what I know now. A love isn't proven by vows. Loyalty isn't loud. And death doesn't reveal people, silence does. When they thought I couldn't hear, they showed me who they were. I believed them. The last line. I didn't die that day. I woke up. And the woman who opened her eyes? She made sure no one ever buried her again. If this story shocked you, wait until the next one. Subscribe now for real feeling stories about betrayal, survival, and justice, because some truths only come out when people think you're gone.